Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss article 18 that deals with abolition of title, and this is fifth and last into category of right to equality. So under this right to equality we already have discussed four other articles, that is article 14, 15, 16, 17, right. So if you have not watched those videos, I will recommend you to go back to the playlist and watch those four videos as well. So let us discuss what is article 18 and what is the necessity of having any such article under right to equality. So if you have any idea of history, right, if you remember, Britishers had created a social differentiation by awarding different kind of award or different kind of titles like Rai Bahadur, Dewan Bahadur, Rai Sahab. So there were many category of titles that Britishers used to award to their loyalists, and that had created social differentiation, and that's very social differentiation that our constitutional makers wanted to abolish, and so this abolition of title. So let us move to the next slide and let us see how many clauses this article 18 has. So if you can see on the screen, there are four clauses that article 18 has, right, and clause 1 prohibits state from conferring any kind of titles. Then clause 2, if you can see on the screen, it prohibits citizens from accepting any titles from foreign states. And clause 3, if you see, it prohibits foreigners holding office of profit or any trust from accepting titles from foreign states. And the fourth clause, if you can see on the screen, it prohibits all person, not only foreigners but all person who are holding office of profit and trust under the government of India from accepting any kind of gifts, emoluments or titles from any foreign states, right. So after this slide, you need not to see me on this screen because everything, the clause discussion that we'll have, right, that is completely animated. So I am getting off the screen and I'll be explaining things from the background. So let us move to the next slide and let us see what is article 18 once. And if you can read on the screen, 18 clause 1 reads, no title not being a military or academic distinction shall be conferred by the state, right. So on the left hand side of the screen, if you could see, you do have Virat Kohli, right. He is receiving Padma Shri award from President of India, and the very validity of Padma awards and Bharat Ratna awards was questioned in 1996, and we are going to discuss the details of that case once we have discussed clause 18.2, 18.3, 18.4, right. So this prohibition of state from awarding any kind of title does have an exception, and the exception is that if the state wants to award any kind of military or academic awards, like we do have academic awards like doctor when we have completed our PhD, or military like captain, major. So these kind of military and academic award has been consist from article 18 clause 1. Let us move to the next slide, right. As I said that this exception in this case is academic or military titles, right. So let us move to the next slide and let us see what 18 clause 2 is. So if you can read on the screen, right, it says that no citizen of India shall accept any title from any foreign state. So recently, if you remember, Ravish Kumar, the NDTV anchor, had been awarded this Roman Magsaysay award, right. It is awarded by Rockefeller brothers, if I know it correctly, right. So no citizens of India shall accept any title from. So how did this Ravish Kumar, right, accept this award, right? Can it be called title? So to decide that whether a award is title or not, right, there are three criteria that you can see on the screen, and the first is that you need to check that whether that award is a title, honor or any kind of decorations, right. Number 2 is if the award has been conferred by the state or a private body, which in this case was a private body, that was Rockefeller brothers from New York. And the third criteria is that even if it has been awarded by a state, right, you do have some article of association belonging to a particular award, and if that seeks any kind of loyalty or allegiance from the recipient, that is Indian citizen, right, then that citizen would be denied from accepting any such kind of honor, and that was not the case in Ravish Kumar's case, and that's why he was able to receive such kind of award. So I hope you do have clarity on 18 clause 2 as well. Let us move to 18.3, right. So here on the screen, if you could read the heading, it says that no person who is not a citizen of India, that means foreigner, right. So this 18.3 is for a foreigner, right. So it reads, I am reading it again, no person who is not a citizen of India shall, while he holds office of profit or a trust under the state, accept without consent of president any title from the president of the state, right. So here on the screen, if you could see, you do have a US citizen who is working with Indian government in rural development ministry, and he is running a trust as well. So if you could go to the heading, it reads, while he holds, means when a foreigner holds any office of profit or trust under the state, right, then he is prohibited from accepting any kind of title from a foreign state, right. So but there is an exception, and the exception is that if he could obtain the permission from Indian president, then he can have any such title from a foreign government, right. I hope you do have clarity. Let me read this clause once again with simplicity. So a foreigner, if holding any office of profit or trust, in that case, if he has to have any title from any foreign state, he will have to obtain permission from Indian president, right. Let us move to the next clause, and the next clause is 18.4, which reads, no person holding any office of profit or trust under the state shall without consent of president accept any present, emolument or office of any kind from or under any foreign state. Let me simplify it again, and it reads, no person, means it is referring to Indian as well and foreigners as well. So no person holding any office of profit, right. I hope you do have clarity on what is called office of profit, because this is what we are going to discuss in unions lecture, right. So no person holding any office of profit or trust under state shall without consent of president accept any kind of emolument, means he cannot, these both persons, be it Indian or be it foreigner, if he or she is holding any kind of office of profit or any kind of trust under Indian government, he cannot accept any kind of emolument, gifts, present or any kind of office from the foreigner president. But the exception is that if he could obtain the permission for holding any such office or for accepting any kind of emolument or gift from the president, he can do so, right. So I hope you do have clarity on all four clauses that we have discussed so far. Let us move to the next slide and let us discuss clause 18.1 in detail. So it reads that no title not being of military or academic distinction shall be conferred by the state, right. So the first aspect that this gives a exception, that state can confer military or academic title, that we already have discussed, right. So and the other exception is that if state cannot confer any such award, can a private institution can confer. So that concession is allowed. Private institutions are allowed to honor people of their merit, right. So you will see that in case of IITs and IIM, these institutions do award president's medal, then director's gold medal. So those are not in category of title, and even if those fall in the category of titles, this concession has been given into the clause 18.1 itself. So let us discuss now the very important aspect of this clause 18.1, and that was the question that was raised on the validity of Bharat Ratna and Padma Shri award, right. So this case went into the Supreme Court in 1996 for the reason that it was argued that these two awards create social differentiation, because if you know, Bharat Ratna in warrant of presidents comes at 9th number immediately after that cabinet minister, right. And so this was argued that these two awards particularly creates a kind of social differentiation, and that's why these awards should be done away with the government. So if you know, these awards were started in 1954 and had been stopped by Janta government, which was again resumed by Indira Gandhi when she came back to power again, right. So when it this thing came into the Supreme Court, you will see in 1996, Union's argument in this was, if you could see the first point, so Union argued that these are not titles but decorations. So you need to know the difference between titles and decoration and honors. So there are different categories in which these awards can be put, right? So there is something called title, there is something called decoration, and there is something called honors. So Union's first argument was that the first of all, these are not title, which is violative of Article 18. So these are just decorations. The second point that Union asserted is that the recipients of these awards are not allowed to use these awards, or be it Bharat Ratna, be it Padma Shri, be it Padma Bhushan, Vibhushan, anything, they cannot be used as titles. So you would have never seen Sachin Tendulkar, or for that matter anyone, using this Bharat Ratna award that they have received, or Padma Shri award that they have received, as title. So that was the Union argument. Supreme Court in the last accepted these arguments, right? And their comment was that yes, it does not create any kind of social differentiation, and it is given in the recognition of exceptional work that these people do, the recipients do in different fields, right? So the Supreme Court upheld the very validity of these awards, and you see that the Bharat Ratna and Padma awards are still continuing. But the one fact that you can see on the screen, and the fact is that there is no sanction if any person, or for that matter, say Sachin Tendulkar, he has received Bharat Ratna award, and if he decide to use it as suffix or prefix or title ahead of his name, right, there is no sanction except that the Rashtrapati can take it back. There is no legal action that can be initiated against any person or any recipient who decide to choose it as title. So that was the fact. So with this, we are wrapping up Article 18. I hope you do have clarity on all the clauses, all the 4 clauses. If you do have any kind of doubt, right, you can ask me in comment section. I'll be happy to help. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.